So just how bad was this movie going to be? Hello, everybody, and thank you for tuning into the Mixed Texan Report. I want to talk about Batgirl getting shelved. Apparently, this movie is going to be so bad they weren't even going to release it to VHS. So, after $90 million, yes, $90 million was spent on the film, it was shelved. So, this movie will never see the light of day. I mean, just how bad was this movie going to be? How bad was it? So, Um, look, I'm a Batman fan, huge Batman fan. I've seen all the most recent Batman movies. I actually even from Michael Keaton's Batman all the way up to now, I've seen all of them. I love Batman, but this would have been a disaster. I even saw Catwoman back in the day when it came out in 2004 with Holly Berry. It wasn't that great, but anyway, it's besides the point. Um, So, despite being completely finished and reportedly having cost $90 million, Batgirl will never be released in any format, not even on the internet streaming service that often seem willing to broadcast any old tat, not even VHS. That's how bad this is. So I made up that VHS part, but so here it goes. It just didn't work, said an insider. The decision is also a big blow for Glasgow, which has stood in for Gotham City in the movie. Now, this was going to feature a Latina Batgirl. We all know the reason behind this, why they put this woman in there. Now, I'm not against having people of color in movies. I support it. I'm a person of color myself, but with the way the woke left works today, they do things to virtue signal. Uh, yeah, this is the primary reason for having certain characters inside of movies and doing certain things. So yeah, so this movie was going to feature, you guessed it, a transgender character by the name of Alyssa Yeo. So who is this transgender character? If I'm pronouncing this correctly. Should be the first trans character in a DC film. Not anymore. Transgender representation will always be important in media, but it's an especially big deal in big budget superhero movies by using popular characters and known franchises as a platform for trans visibility. It provides a welcome for trans folks to enter the larger social conversation and become normalized in society. The DC Comics character Alyssa Yeo will soon have the visibility, but where does the character originate? So this was from January of this year, and this obviously did not age well because the movie got canned. So transgender people only represent 0.6% of the population. Not even 1% of the population identifies as trans. So here goes what it looks like. See, there's 4 yellow people right here, and that's how big the population of trans people are in America. They're so small, it's like a blip on the screen. But they're trying to normalize it and make it seem like they represent 50% of the population. This is what the left is doing. They act like transgender people and gays represent half the population when they actually don't. Specifically, transgender people, they represent a much smaller percentage of the population, as you see right here. So, I love the fact this movie got killed because it shows that maybe the woke stuff is not working too well for these people, and they're starting to realize it. And matter of fact, this woke nonsense is not working well. As we see from Red State, Netflix canceled some of its woke shows. Signaling its backpedal from leftism is well underway. And we saw that with the memo sent out to employees. From Red State, here we go. Following a financial report that saw the stock price plummet 37% in late April, Netflix is now moving to adjust its culture and re engage its frustrated audience. A new culture memo dealing with artistic expression has been sent out and clearly shot at the woke staffers that have been sandbagging the company. This was, a couple months back, and this is what the memo was sent. What the memo said to the employees: if you'd find it hard to support our content, Bridget, um, Netflix may not be the best place for you. The memo states, later adding that employees may be required to work on projects that they perceive to be harmful, and if they do have a hard time accepting their work assignment, they might want to consider working somewhere else. Entertaining the world is an amazing opportunity and also a challenge because viewers have very different taste points of view. So we offer a wide variety of TV shows and movies, some of which can be provocative. The news section reads, later adding, we support the artistic expression of the creators we choose to work with, and that we've let viewers decide what's appropriate for them versus having Netflix censor specific artists or voices. Absolutely correct. So we don't want to be censored, no matter what side. Most normal people, if you're woke, you want to censor everybody. But if you're an average, everyday working American who, maybe you're a Democrat, maybe you're a Republican, but you want to get away from some things. You want to, I guess escapism is the right word. You want to watch TV and go to a movie and go to a sporting event or a concert as a form of escapism to get away from the everyday struggles of life, whether that's, we all face challenges with whether it's, paying bills, whatever it is. You may have a tough job you're dealing with, whatever that is. You see the news every day. You see all the inflation and the craziness at the border. You just want to take some time and get away from that. Like, I'm watching the movie Prey. This is today, Saturday, August 6th. I don't know when you're watching this, but I'm watching that tonight. I'm going to just get away from everything. I like to do things with my wife, Saturday nights, to get away from the daily stuff that goes on in the world, So, yeah, that's a form of escapism. So, you just want to sit back, watch a movie, eat some popcorn, have a drink, have a good time. Go to a sporting event, whatever it is you want to do. You don't want this stuff shoved down your throat. I know I don't. So, as we saw with what happened with Lightyear, that movie was a massive flop. It was projected to do about, I think, 75 to 85 million opening weekend, and it did $51 million, which was atrocious for what it was projected to do. So, I didn't go see it because I no longer support a lot of the things that Disney does. I don't support their agenda, what they're doing with this grooming children, so I'm not going to pay to go watch a movie at the movie theater. I was a big Toy Story fan. When the movie came out in 1995, I went to see it in the movie theater with my dad, and it was great. It was a fantastic movie, and it still is. It's a classic. The second, third, and fourth ones are pretty good as well, but once I heard about Disney making the spinoff, I had no interest in watching it, especially since they put this gay kissing scene back into it. Let's take a watch real quick. You see, there's no need for that. There's no need to put a gay kissing scene inside a kid's movie. Stop trying to normalize this stuff. Let them be kids, and once they get to a certain point where they want to explore things, 18, 19, 20 years old, whatever it is, let them do do what they want. But there's no reason to put this inside of a kid's movie and make them think that this is okay at 5 years old or 6 years old or 7 years old. When I was in you know, when the first movie came out, there was no woke nonsense in there. I like my movies to be apolitical. I like, you know, Maverick is a good example. That movie was phenomenal because it didn't push any specific agenda, one way or the other. I mean, it was very patriotic, but at the same time, it was still in the middle, in my opinion. And I loved it. And it did. I think it's made over $1 billion worldwide, or no, sorry, about $600 million, at least in the states, I believe. So the movie's done very well, and you can see that with things that don't push a political agenda, they tend to do very well compared to um, more far left leaning nonsense. So yeah, I just want to touch bases on that. What happened with this woke movie, and I hope we continue to see these things happening um, in cinema and entertainment, things like that. As we saw with the NBA, the ratings tanked. I stopped watching NBA because they started kneeling and the BLM stuff on the courts and the slogans on the back of the jerseys. That just bothered the heck out of me. And I watched the NBA for 20 years. And once they went woke, I never watched another NBA game ever after that. I used to go to basketball games. I used to go to the bars and watch games. I mean, it was a huge part of my life. But I flipped the switch as soon as they went anti-American, and they learned the hard way. So I think it took them a little bit longer to realize this than other things because they kept doing it. They finally got the message that people didn't want to, pay attention to that. You pretty much alienated half of your audience, but whatever. LeBron James killed it for me, so he started all this nonsense, in my opinion. So anyway, guys, I'm gonna end the video right there. Like and subscribe. Have a great day, and I will see you next time. Thank you. Take care.